Hey everyone. Okay, how are you all doing? Let me just make sure that this is showing up on Facebook. See here. See if it's gonna let me do this. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. One more second. Make sure we are live in the group. Okay. Hey everyone. We're going to be talking about clarity. Let me just make sure I can put the title on here. StreamYard's so weird. I'm still in learning them. Okay. All right. Okay. So, why having clarity helps our life? Why it makes a difference? Why it saves us time? Why it saves us money? Why it saves us energy? Why it helps us bring our goals, help our goals manifest faster. So, this is you know, this is a really important thing that a lot of people are walking around without. I look at it as something that is a necessity in my life from now, like now, because I spent so many years without it and I wasted a lot of time. I wasted a lot of money. Learning curves cost money, right? If we don't have any idea what we're doing, we can waste a lot of time and we don't have time to waste and we can waste a lot of money and there's a lot of other things we could use that money for, right? So you know the thought process of having clarity is, think of it like this, is we can't solve our problems with the same thinking that created them. So in order to get out of you know that type of, maybe we feel stuck, maybe we feel stagnant, maybe we are confused, maybe we are feel like we're living our life lukewarm, or we're just unfulfilled with life. Whenever we feel that way, we as a society deems that as normal. Oh, it's normal to have a monotone life. It's normal to not be excited, about getting up and going to work tomorrow. It's normal to, not be thrilled about what you're doing with your life. And that's why, that's why I lead other people to go the other way, because you can absolutely lead a life and live a life that is completely fulfilling to you, that makes you wake up and excited to go to work, excited to achieve all the things you want to do. Okay, so the thing is, a lot of times we don't have clarity on what we want. So if we don't have clarity on what we want, we don't know what we're waking up every day for, right? So you know we can't manifest and attract what we want if we don't know what we want, right? And if we are if we have confused thinking, we're going to have confused results, right? Like a confused mind never takes action, right? It never takes inspired action. So again, if we walk around all day confused about what we want out of life, we are going to waste a lot of precious time. So that's a really big thing for a lot of people, and a lot of people want to save time, they want to save money, they don't want to just kind of hang out and wait for life to happen to them, right? So, whenever we have clarity, we're more purpose driven. We know why we're doing things. We create from the inside out rather than absorbing from the outside in. So, whenever we don't have clarity, we waste time going in different directions. We may, we may go to a college that we don't really have any idea why we're going there. We might, take a job that we don't really want. We might, move to some random place because we don't really want to be where we are. We might do all these things that really have nothing to do with what we want out of life, just because we are living by default, because we're not clear on what we want. So whenever we're doing this, a lot of times we have a lot of indecisiveness, and indecisiveness, how much time do you spend not knowing what to do, right? Just think about it. If I know for me, one of my biggest issues with clarity was not knowing what to make for dinner. Okay, this was like a huge time waster. I would spend an hour every night trying to find a freaking recipe, trying to figure out what I was going to make for dinner. Like, it was ridiculous, right? Time waster. Okay. So again, having clarity on the fact that I don't want to live like that. I want to save that time because I could be doing so many other things with that time, and finding a way to shift that into, get really clear on what I want and what to do about it, right? Meal planning. Simple. But, you know, a lot of times too, our mental energy, when we're feeling by default and we're not actually feeling the way that we are not feeling the way we want to feel, because we might not know how we want to feel. We might not know that we can feel good. I know for myself, whenever I started my healing journey, I didn't realize how good I was actually able to feel. I didn't know that I could be really excited about life every day. I deemed my, just lack of energy, lack of enthusiasm as normal for so many years. And I think a lot of people do that because sometimes we watch the people that are around us do the same thing. And when they do those things, we just kind of, we become like the five most people we surround ourselves with. So if, they're acting, not excited about life, not, all the things, most likely we just accept it as normal and we go about our day. And then you have, people who, when they get old, they have regrets. And, so that's kind of what the whole point of having clarity is. It's to not have regrets, not to, be wishing you went for it when you were younger or whatever. Not having clarity, again, costs us money. So we also make a lot of impulsive decisions whenever we don't have clarity. And for me personally, like, my experience was I wasted a lot of money going to college, and I went for 3 weeks. I spent a lot of money to go for 3 weeks because everyone else was saying, oh, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. And I was young. I had no clarity on what I wanted to do with my life. I knew things that I was going to be when I grew up. I knew from a young age, I was going to help people. I knew I was going to, make millions of dollars to do all this stuff, right? Like, I knew that intuitively that I was going to do that with my life. But from a very young age, I still had these people telling me, well, go to college, do this, do that. And I ended up paying for it. I wasted thousands of dollars going to college that I had no desire to go to, right? So, you have people that go for 4 years and then they finally figure out, hey, I don't want to do this at all, right? And that's totally okay. But what I'm saying is, whenever we take the time to get really clear on the life that we want to have and believe and have the confidence that we can have it, we save a lot of money, we save a lot of time, and we're kind of not wishy-washy with things. We know our goals and we go after them. So, whenever we don't have clarity, we don't really get ahead because you don't know where ahead is. So if you don't know what you want out of life, if you don't know, that you want to, maybe you want to have your own business, maybe you want to, maybe you want to get married, maybe you want to move somewhere, maybe all these things. But if we don't know those things, then a lot of times we're just going to stay where we are. We're not going to get ahead, right? It's just like, if you're buying a house and you're saving for a house, what you're doing. You have a goal and you're working towards it. You're saving for your house, right? But if we have no idea what we're doing with our lives, we're not planting any seeds in our future, which is really important. So, if it's the same thing, like if you're driving somewhere and you're like, hey, I have to be at this place, and you don't have directions to get there, you're going to waste a lot of time. So it's the same with your goals. So, on the flip side of that, what happens when we do have clarity? What does that look like? Clarity is key for manifesting. When we have clarity of intention, the universe conspires with us to make it happen. The path is cleared And I know as someone who, was manifesting a lot of confused results for many years, I wasted a lot of time doing that. I wasn't clear with what I wanted, and I thought that um, was just kind of I, I had some manifesting skills, but I didn't have any clarity on what I wanted, really. So I manifested a lot of confusion, and that again, that costs a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of just not so good things. So whenever we have clarity, our path is clear, the universe is able to co-create with us, we're able to get on this fast track to our dreams, our goals, our desires, all the things. And, we can watch them literally unfold in front of our eyes, which is truly, truly amazing. So with that, whenever we have clarity, it creates freedom. Whenever we have clarity on what we want and why we want it, we are free from all other opinions and judgments that people put on us and they have, right? So, that and opinions that are also within us and around us, for someone who myself and my clients as well, like we work through the whole self-doubt thing, and whenever you are crystal clear on what you want and why you want it, that is more powerful than that little voice inside of you saying that you can't. Okay, so it kind of, and then you're curious, you're all the things, and it just kind of defeats that self-doubt that you can have it. And it's number one, that frees up time, that frees up mental energy, all the things, because think about how much time we waste, or mental energy we waste, both on focusing on our self-doubt and why we can't have it, and just putting ourselves down and judging ourselves and things like that. It's like, it's not worth it. And a lot of people do it because they just don't know another way. They don't know how, to get out of that kind of cycle. And, it's kind of, it can be very depleting. It can lead to depression. It leads to a lot of anxiety. So there's things that happen whenever we're not clear on our life and what we want out of it. So, we also, whenever we have clarity, number one, it creates excitement. Okay, so if we're clear, as I work with my clients, we get really clear on what they want, and then they get excited because, oh my God, I know what I want. I know what I want. And then, clarity really creates, confidence. Okay. And they get really confident about, what, yeah, I fucking can have it. I can do this stuff, and all that clarity and the confidence, then that creates results, which then creates more confidence, right? And it just leads to it's just this snowball effect of, this new life, this new identity that we can absolutely have. Anybody can have, everybody can have a new identity. And that's what I teach, because, you have to create this life that you want, it's not just going to kind of show up for you. So, and another thing is, like, for people who are very like they think very logically, it's important to not allow thinking to get in the way of clarity. There's a lot of, if you want to have like facts and reason and all this stuff, and say you wake up and you have this clear like download, right? Excuse me. And it's like, this is what you need to do. This is, you should start a business. You should go here. You should do this. And it's just like, where did this information come from, right? That's your intuition. And that's what happens whenever we have clarity and we start working through all these things. Our intuition we start hearing it louder and louder and louder. Okay. And it becomes more of that's your source of news. That's your source of information. You are not listening to anyone else on the outside anymore, because your intuition is telling you what to do. So, it's important to lean into that voice rather than the outside voices and overthinking, with all of these old patterns and belief systems that we have that have not got us, the clarity that we desire in our lives. So, clarity, conviction, transformation. It's that simple. Okay. And, this is a little bit of what I do with my clients one-on-one, just a little bit. And, we kind of go we dive really deep into this, okay? Because the clearer you are, the more results you have. Okay. And obviously, like as you start your journey of, I want a new life, you figure out where you want to be, what you want to do, all the things. I think that this would be really, really awesome if this was something that was like standard after you got out of high school, or, while you're in high school, whatever. I think that, you know, number one, it would save a lot of people a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of just wasted years in colleges that they end up not wanting to even be, or maybe they're doing it because, like I did, like, I had these people in my life telling me, well, you need to do this, right? And, following the society norm, well, you're not going to be anything if you don't go to college, right? Like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But, and it's absolutely not true. So I think that this would be really helpful for something like that, for kids to have a life coach or something like the clarity coach at a very young age. I think it would save a lot of time and a lot of money. So just think about that. Like even as an adult, it's never too late. It's never too late to gain more clarity over your life, to start going after your goals, to start going after your dreams, to start doing all the things that you've wanted to do, or, you may not even know, but you want more out of life. And when you want more out of life, that's enough of a reason to take action and to go after other things and your dreams and your goals. So what I'm doing right now is I am creating a clarity workbook. And it's basically going to be something for a gift for all of my people in my group to be able to kind of work through on their own pace, their own time, just to kind of gain a little bit of clarity on what they want in their life. So I'm going to be launching this weekend. And yeah, so it's gonna be pretty awesome. And it's going to kind of start that thought process in your brain of what else is possible, which is really awesome. And I love that quote. Whenever you are, maybe you've accomplished something, maybe you have, you just accomplished one of your goals, or you did something really exciting, and then you say, what else is possible? Like that's a really great question. Instead of, a lot of people say, well, what else can go wrong, right? But saying what else is possible is one of the best things you can do, because we get answers to our questions, right? If whether they're good or bad. So okay, if you want access to the clarity workbook that I am dropping this weekend, please drop a yes or an emoji in the comment section below this video. You can also send me a private message if you would rather do that, and I will be sure to send that over to you this weekend. So, all right, guys, I am going to jump off here. And again, drop a comment below, a big yes, or an emoji, and I will be chatting with you guys this weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your day.